I'm your huckleberry.
This is the Smoking Guns Podcast.
No G with a Z, P-O-D, Smoking Guns Podcast for the 23rd time in our fifth season. We're coming at you with more talk about the San Antonio Gunslingers and all of the things around them. But the 23rd time of the season will be the final time of the season. That's right. It's a wrap. We are wrapping up the season. The IFL Championship is just a few weeks away. We don't have a dog in that fight. We don't even have the dog in that fight we were hoping to have in Sam Castronova. He's already been bumped out of the playoffs. And so we are wrapping things up tonight, moving into our off season. We'll talk a little bit more about that a little later. And we are going to finally let you, the fan, decide what the top jersey is. We found the final four for you, but you've got to do the real work. Those of you out there watching right now, your vote is what's going to count, not ours. We are going to go through that whole process a little bit later. But first and foremost, I guess we have to do intros. Introductions have to be done. I'm Philip Higginbotham. I'm one of your hosts for the next couple of hours as we talk about San Antonio Gunslingers football. I am joined, as always, by my good friends, Leonardo Yamas.
What's up, Smoking Guns Posse?
And R.C. Woods.
Mwah! Hello, beautiful people.
Chase Risman, who's going to be with us on the show a little later, says, go Blizz, beat Quad City. You know what? I'm sure. Why not? Like, Sam's out of it. I don't really care at this point who wins. I don't want to see Arizona win back-to-back just because I don't want to. So, sure. I got good news and bad news this week in the playoffs in that the Sharks were knocked out. Yay. But then Sam got knocked out, and I don't like that.
Oh,
yeah, that's a bummer.
Jamar Washington saying, yeah, but guess who isn't in the championship? Also, the Guppies. They are not, and that is good news. Jay Washington also says, had to stop King of the Hill for this. That means he's watching the King of the Hill reboot that dropped last night, late last night, about 11 o'clock, I think. They put all 10 episodes of the new King of the Hill reboot. I cannot wait to get some time in front of the TV to catch up on King of the Hill. I am very excited about watching that. One of my favorite shows, might be my favorite show. I love King of the Hill. I grew up near the same town that Mike Judge grew up in. And so while many Texans can say, yeah, this all looks very familiar, it looks very familiar to me. I grew up in Saxe. Mike Judge grew up in Garland, which is right next door to Saxe, just south of it. And he actually named Arlen after Garland. He just dropped the G and the D and got Arlen, Texas, and from Garland, Texas. And
wow. Good story.
James Plummer says, Sam, probably with one of his worst games in a while. I did not get the opportunity to watch that particular game. I heard he had a lot of run for his life kind of moments and that the offensive line did not do a great job against Green Bay, keeping him clean. That makes it very hard for even a great quarterback like Sam Castronova to do his job.
Yeah.
We're going to talk some more about the Gunslingers. We had a game. It wasn't this week. It was last week, two Saturdays ago, and it was a blast. I had a great time. There was one negative, and it's not anything that we can control. It is the fact that I think it's probably a bad idea to call something an outlaw jersey as it comes through customs. I think the word outlaw there in customs went.
Yeah.
Customs went. Oh, we're not letting through the outlaw jersey. It got held up in customs and could not get to us in time. We did not get a chance to add in the outlaw jersey, the fan jersey, outlaw jersey.
Yeah, that was a bummer. I was really looking forward to that jersey. But since I heard they weren't there and we getting stuck in customs, I decided to take the money that I had already budgeted to put towards that jersey, and I bid on one of the actual game jerseys. But I bid on the personalized one that's like it was actually game jersey, but not worn in the game by a player.
Right.
And you could get it personalized with your name, and I won that. So
Nice.
you know,
I was going to say
more than the fan jersey I would have bought, but I in my mind I'm like I put that money towards this, so it didn't cost me that much more. Yeah.
Yes, I did that same kind of math today when I was at Harbor Freight, and I picked up a bunch of stuff, and they were like, "Do you want to join the Inside Track Club?" Which they always ask, and I was like, "Actually, it's going to save me about $20, and it's $29, so I'm actually saving money to do it that way." I was not saving money, but that's the way the math works in your head sometimes.
That's man math.
That's man math. Absolutely. Absolutely. They're also really bad about that at Kohl's. My mom and my wife love to shop at Kohl's, and they love to tell you how much you saved. You saved $100. No, I didn't. I spent $150. I did not save $100. I promise you. That's not the way that went down.
I like Kohl's.
Kohl's is good. Kohl's is solid. They know how to get you back in there. They're great at the Kohl's Cash and the marketing and the coupons. Harbor Freight also very good at the couponing to get you in there. They're very similar in the way.
Is it like the free blue tarp that you can come and get the coupon?
They used to do that. They don't do those free coupons anymore, but they're dirt cheap stuff. You know, they'll run $1 deals and $2 deals, and you run out there and get them. Let's talk a little bit about the other parts of the experience, and not Harbor Freight and Kohl's, which we somehow got off on. I did. I hope the jersey that you ordered was not the number 10 jersey, Leo, because I don't know what happened to that. I've watched a lot of football. A lot of football in my life. High school, college, NFL, or pro football, not just NFL, other experiences, other pro football leagues. I have never seen a jersey just come apart off of a player like that. I've seen them grab and get the long, you get the long flag kind of thing that comes off of it. I've seen that. I've seen jerseys ripped off, but this almost looked like a tearaway jersey. It was really kind of funny.
Like disintegrated.
Yeah. Shredded.
It did. And it didn't slow Keyshawn down at all. He had to change numbers and run with a different name on him. A little confusing for us up in the booth at times, but he had a terrific game. Everybody did. This was a great way to end the season. It has not been the season that we wanted. We did not want to go 5-11. Nobody ever does at the start of the season, but 5-11 is better than 4-12. And the way they dominated Northern Arizona. There was never a point that I felt like Northern Arizona was in that game. No,
they were outmatched by quite a bit. I think it was pretty apparent. And 5-11, not the season we wanted. I'm feeling good though. To be honest with you, I'm feeling good about the end of the season. The way we finished off, I thought we had a couple of strong games to finish. We didn't win against Arizona, but we gave them really all they could handle here at home. And that team's still in the playoffs. They may end up being in the Western Conference Finals against the Arizona Worms against the Vegas Make Believes.
Maple Leafs?
They're not real things, the Nighthawks, right? We don't know what those are. So,
but Maple Leafs are a real thing. Like
those are.
No, I didn't say Maple Leafs. I said make believes.
Oh, make believes. Oh, okay.
That makes much more sense than Maple Leafs because I was going. I've seen a Maple Leaf before. They're a thing. They exist. I've never seen a Nighthawk, but I've seen a Maple Leaf.
We'll call them mythical creatures. There you go.
There you go.
But no, we saw since that one game against the Sugar Cookies, where we came out of that game feeling, I think, the lowest that we felt. And since then, it's been pretty positive. We didn't get the win against Arizona, but I don't think you came out of that game hanging your head. Ever since then, you've just kind of seen a difference in this team. And you saw a difference in this team in that last game and in the the players themselves. They showed a lot of appreciation to the fans even during the game. And it was, we were fired up. This was the last game of the season. So I could tell you that down in the party zone, we were fired up and banging on the walls and chanting and giving players crap, as far as the Northern Arizona, whatever they are, Blue Jeans. We were giving them crap in the end zone and having a good time and dominating on the field. So what a way to end the season.
There was definitely a different energy all around us at that last game. I think the players felt it. I think the fans definitely felt it. It just was very energizing. That's more I can say, just very energizing.
Yeah, I agree. It was a great game, and the way they took control from the beginning and never allowed Northern Arizona. There was a point there in the second half where I was like, are they going to allow Northern Arizona to kind of climb back into this thing? They did not. They scored the touchdown in that moment and kind of put their foot on the throat and said, no, we're not letting you get up. A great first half, a decent second half, but overall, there was never a point where I really felt like the game was in any sort of peril. And it's a great way to finish out the season. We should go ahead. He's waiting back in the green room. We should go ahead and bring on Chase Risman because he was there as well and might have an interesting perspective.
Yeah.
Not necessarily a fan, but a guy that has been covering this team all season long. We welcome in now Chase Risman from Sports Coast to Coast. Chase, how you doing?
Philip, RC, Leo, how are you guys doing tonight?
We're doing great.
Doing good, thanks.
Awesome.
Happy to have you.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
So what did you think of that particular game? You were there not too far away from me as we wrapped up the season there at the John Wayne Film there at Freeman Coliseum. What did you see going forward for the Gunslingers? Nothing on the line, nothing to gain with the win, but to still come out and dominate Northern Arizona. What did it look like to you?
John Wayne Field at the Freeman Coliseum. Yeah, it was they beat somebody they were supposed to beat, which, I'm sure they're happy about. And, there was nothing on the line other than players trying to show Don Rackler and James Stubing that they should be on the roster next year. And they made their case. They beat Northern Arizona, who almost beat Arizona at home this year, and they beat them pretty easy. They beat them convincingly.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. Well, I'm going to say they beat them pretty convincingly. It was a chippy game.
It was.
There was some chippiness out there. I'll mention. I mean, of course, Bikembe Kearney, Hit Stick Kearney. He showed you why he's got the nickname Hit Stick out there, because he was really putting on some big hits on our Gunslingers. But the other guy, the guy that really kind of that irked the fan base a little bit, and we were giving a hard time, was that Gabor guy, Davia Gabor, I think, number 24. He's a defensive back, little guy. He's not that big. I think he's like 5'8", something like that. And he decided to try and pick on Collie a few times when Collie wasn't involved in the play, and he's blocking, and they were kind of going at it, and we were yelling at him and giving him a hard time about it. And I even talked to Collie last week at the end of the season party and mentioned that, and he was like, "Oh yeah, 2-4, man." He was getting a little crazy out there, but it was definitely a entertaining a physical and chippy game out there, even though I think the Gunslingers by far got the better of them. I mean, they had
Mhm.
like 6 stops in 11 possessions.
Yeah.
That's a really high ratio of stops in the indoor game. A couple of interceptions and turnovers on downs. I think we had 1 fumble recovery. So the defense was fired up and played really well. The offense obviously played really well. Joaquin Collazo had a good game. No interceptions to finish off the season. So yeah, it was a lot of fun. I think the Gunslingers were out there and they made a statement. You're right, Chase. They beat a team they were supposed to beat.
Sure.
But they're battling out there. I think they were battling for their colors. They were saying, you guys are imposters trying to look like us. And when they're out there
That's
warming
true.
up, and I walked in and they were out there warming up, and it was just Northern Arizona. And I was like going over to, let's go check out the Gunslingers, see how they're doing. I'm like, hey, what's up? Go, guns up. And I look and I'm like, oh, wait, never mind. And then we're just kind of doing that with them all game long. Hey, you had to borrow our jerseys. What happened? Did the jerseys get lost in the trip or forgot them back home? You had to borrow the Gunslingers. Like, is this a scrimmage? What's going on here? Giving them crap about it and stealing our colors and our logo. So yeah, there's definitely a lot to be said for that. That was fun.
My youngest
was
sister was at the game. That was her. My youngest sister was at the game, and it was her first indoor football game, and she loved it.
Nice.
Yeah, really great. You talked about Bakimbe Kearney, Hit Stick Kearney.
Mm-hmm.
He was playing mad. Like, he was playing angry. Like Kali Rashad was the reason he didn't play for the Gunslingers anymore. And he was going to make sure everybody knew that he was better than Kali Rashad. I love Hit Stick. I would love to see him back in San Antonio at some point.
Never know.
Buddy, stop going after 5, please. You're not. I'm not going to love you for a long time if you keep trying to injure 5. And he was playing right there on the edge of dirty at times. He was playing hard. He was playing all out, but there were times where it almost looked dirty. And
Like he had something to prove.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Maybe so.
Leo, you brought up, the Wranglers stealing the Gunslingers uniforms. You remember last year when the Gunslingers played Northern Arizona at home? The Gunslingers wore white, and Northern Arizona wore their road uniforms. So it was like, yeah, I really don't know who's wearing what right now. That game last year.
Yeah, if I remember correctly, that game last year was the first game in at home in the IFL, and the uniforms did not get shipped in time.
There was an issue there.
Yeah, and all we had was the white uniforms, so we ended up having to roll with the white uniforms in that particular game, if I remember correctly. Caleb Roller, good to see Caleb, one of the original Gunslingers from back in the day. Does anybody know who bought my old jersey? I did see that it was up there. I don't know who ended up getting. If memory serves, that should be number 73. Is that right? Was that Caleb's number?
That sounds right to me. That sounds right to me. He could tell us if he's still there.
Alex said, I saw that being auctioned off in the retro jersey auction. I saw those retro jerseys as well. Not sure who grabbed that, but I thought it would be your family, Caleb. I thought one of your folks might be buying it or something like that.
There's still a lot of love in the Gunslingers fan base for the OG Gunslingers. Absolutely. So I'm not surprised. It was kind of cool to see some of those come up for auction, and then I'm glad some of them got picked up. So bid on. That's awesome.
So Chase and Leo and RC, now we get to start discussing. The game was great. The end of the year, the end of the season was exactly the way you want to end the season. No matter what the record is, you want to go out on a win, and we did that. Now we get to turn our attention toward the offseason. Yep. What do you think the offseason looks like for the San Antonio Gunslingers? Do you see changes at head coach, at quarterback, who do you think is definitely coming back, or if the Gunslingers have their way, is coming back, and who do you think we may have seen for the
Hey,
final
can we
time?
rewind a minute? We didn't even talk about the roses that we passed out to the 6-shooters during the game.
Okay,
Oh,
let's
yeah,
talk about that.
I thought
Yeah.
that was important. We had lots of fun. I was we as a podcast always try to recognize the 6-shooters, maybe one person more than the others. And we wanted to give them a little thank you just to everything that they do, how they represent the Gunslingers, how they represent females and the role models and the camps that they had. So we had I had my neighbor who works for HEB in the floral department. She was able to hook me up with some beautiful arrangements. And then what I did was I felt like the fans are also very appreciative of the 6-shooters. So I had asked Mo and Iris and Diana and Heidi and Huddle's mom and Kim Nelson, and then another friend of mine, Erica Roundtree. And so we all met over there on the sidelines. And after the beautiful presentation, or right before the beautiful presentation that Robert did visually, we went ahead and we gave each of the 6-shooters some roses. And then Lolis gave a bouquet to Cassie. So I just wanted to say that was my highlight really of that game, that last game. And I think we did a really good job of kind of wrapping it up and thanking the 6-shooters.
Yeah, that was awesome. I know Lolis had a good time with that, and it was nice to see that, and nice to see the performance of the 6-shooters out there as well for the last game. And like we're kind of started to talk about here off-season moves and players. You got to realize it's the same for 6-shooters. You know, this was the last game that this group of 6-shooters more than likely is going to be together. We'll have girls moving on and, you know, new talent coming in, and they're always strong every year. So we look forward to that. And then also appreciate the 2025 iteration of the San Antonio 6-shooters for the Gunslingers organization. If there's an award given out for cheer squads this year by the IFL, 6-shooters better be at the top of the list for sure.
There is, or at least there has been in the past, and they've been passed over before, but boy, you better not. You better at least mention them. They at least deserve honorable mention. I think they deserve the trophy for the year, but
I do too.
I don't know what kind of politics goes into all of that.
Mm-hmm.
I will never forget, I believe it was their first season in the Freeman. We were still in the NAL at the time, where we decided on that final game of the year to give out roses to the 6-shooters. And my rose, I had one rose. I think I had two, but I had one rose left, and I was supposed to give it to whoever was the coach at the time. It was not Cassie at that time. It was somebody else. And she didn't know I was trying to track her down, and she kept moving
I remember that.
from girl to girl, and I am like following behind her, trying to catch up with her, not wanting to run over to her because that looks weird. And it became this comedy of errors as I followed this person around the field, having no idea. She had no idea I was trying to give her something. And that was the only time I've ever done the rose presentation on the field. I was so embarrassed. I have let you guys.
One and done. That was it.
So now we talk about moving forward and some of the things that we expect to see in the off season. Leo and Chase, Alex McSwain pointed me in the direction. He said, I already see a few off-season signings. And so I went to look at the transaction page really quick, and I see names that I'm very excited about already signed.
Yeah.
The Gunslingers. Jalen Williams, Austin Upshaw, Carl Reynolds, Joaquin Collazo,
QB1,
Jack Daly, Matt Burrell, also Ellison Jordan. Some names that we recognize, some of the other names that we don't see as often or don't call out as often, still a valuable part of the team. This is a great deal where the Gunslingers were allowed to, you can re-sign your own players, but you can't sign free agency hasn't opened yet, but you can go ahead and tag and keep those players that you want to keep, which is a little different than the IFL did business last year. Any of those names strike you, Leo or Chase or RC, as yes, that's a big get. That's a guy I want to keep.
I'm not ignoring you. I'm just tweeting out the news right now. That's all.
Sure.
Oh, no worries.
Yeah, go ahead. You start first.
I was gonna say I definitely have some thoughts, but I was gonna let Chase go first. But if you're busy conducting business, I will go right ahead and step in. Well, obviously, I think the obvious one is Joaquin Collazo.
Sure.
You know, I got a chance to talk to Joaquin Collazo at the end of season gathering there, and told him how excited I was to have him here this season. Come in at the end of the season and play well and perform the way he did for us, and it was good to see a rookie out there and performing the way he did. And he said he was appreciative of the opportunity, that he loves it here. And I mentioned, it's my hope that you're here next year. We get to see more and see more of your development. And he said that was his goal. That's what he was hoping would happen and make happen. And then we had the signing here. So definitely excited to see that. I know I'm certain the Gunslingers are going to bring in competition. They're not doing their job if they don't.
Right.
But
absolutely,
as it stands now, it's Joaquin's job to lose. And, I don't think he's going to do anything to hurt his chance at keeping on to that QB1 position. I'm excited that he has the opportunity to do that. I don't think there's going to be, you mentioned the question earlier about coaching. I don't foresee any coaching changes going into next season. I don't think that'd be a good move on the part of the Gunslingers. They want to have some continuity. They have a plan in place. And I think Coach Fuller is a big part of that plan. I think a lot of it is his plan. And I'm excited to see that happen and go into the season with at least that QB1 position. You got a pretty good idea of who's going to be there, barring some unforeseen, performance by somebody who comes in and takes a job away.
Right.
Yeah. All right. I don't think they're going to make a change at head coach, nor do I think they're going to, obviously they're probably not going to make a change at starting quarterback now. They can't because they've got Collazo the third back. Is Collie? No, Collie can still play because he hasn't been with the team more than 3 years yet. Is Glenn Gibbons Jr. Is he technically a vet yet? Because if they could bring him back, that would be huge for them. On defense, they got to keep Riverius Rivers and see if they can sign as many defensive vets as they can. I need you guys to refresh my memory because I'm forgetting right now. Did Clifton Duck get released?
No, he moved on to
he's in Germany,
team in
or
Germany.
Denmark.
That's right.
Yeah.
One of those places. Yeah. He's overseas.
So he's overseas. You never know, possibility of him coming back.
Sure.
Once that season is over, that would be huge. I think if they can bring Duck back and bring Rivers back, like you said. I'm also excited. I think Jack Daly, the defensive lineman that they got from
Bay Area
in that trade. Now, he didn't play a whole lot to end the season, but I really, truly think I got a sense that he is a part of the long-term plans for the Gunslingers on that defensive line. So, and you saw that he's one of the lists of these very first, signings for next season. So they definitely have him in the plans. At wide receiver, Chase, you mentioned a couple of guys, Gibbons. We don't know the answer to that yet. Naquan, I think, is a big question mark at this point. And I saw James Palmer in the comments. He's saying that coach said Kali will be back if he wants to play also. I'll say this about Kali Rashad. Kali Rashad definitely could still play in this league. Kali Rashad, I think, definitely has a spot on this team as long as he wants it. He if he wants to come back, he will be back. We don't know for sure that Kali doesn't know for sure if he's ready to come back for another season. I had a chat with him I don't know if he wanted me to share this, but he didn't say not to share it. But I think it's kind of obvious to a lot of his big fans that Kali's going to do what his body tells him. And he said, there's no way for me to know that at this point in time. I got to kind of wait and see what my body tells me after a while. He's got to get healthy. He's got to, kind of gauge where he's at physically over the off season and make his decision. And, he said he'd love to be back. He said he's always going to be a gunslinger. Even if he doesn't, he's going to root for the guys, and he's a gunslinger for life in his heart. And I said, we'd love for you to come back too, Kali, but health is first always. And, if it's not in your best interest, health-wise or just physically, to continue playing, then, that's definitely the best decision for you. And we back you no matter what. And we thank you for the time you spent with this organization. We definitely love Kali Rashad and appreciate all he's done for this organization. Hopefully he decides to come back. I'm really hoping he does, but if we've seen the last of Kali Rashad, I'm sure hoping that number 5 jersey, the team finds some way to honor him and retire that number. How that works with Freeman Coliseum or with the San Antonio Gunslingers organization, that's up to them to work out. But I really hope that that's in the plans whenever the time comes for Kali Rashad to get those cleats up. We don't know when that is yet. He doesn't know when that is yet. But if he wants to come back, I'm more than sure he's going to be back.
Yeah. And I also think, like with Coach Bain, he was a player, and then teams have seen his leadership skills. I see those same leadership skills in Kali. So if he's not a player, I think he would be a great asset to the coaching team for the Gunslingers.
So a couple of things that we've all talked about there, and I'll give my 2 cents on it, which doesn't mean anything, but hey, I get to be on this show too, so I get to have an opinion. You guys talked a lot about head coaching changes. I see nothing at this point that leads me to believe that there's a need to change head coaches. And to be fair, if you'd told me 2 years ago when we signed who we did as our head coach and general manager that James Fuller was the head coach, I would have been perfectly happy with that. He ended up being the offensive coordinator underneath Tom. But if instead of Tom, you had told me that the big get at head coach was James Fuller, I respect what James Fuller did in the NAL, where we battled against him and saw him put together a great team. And I see nothing that leads me to believe that we need to make a change there, because I don't know what he's going to bring to the IFL. He ran this season with Tom's team. Yeah. He did not run it with his team. Right. And I want to see what James Fuller can do with James Fuller's vision. He had to make what he could out of Tom's vision. And that's part of what happens when you go through a coaching change. And I want to see what James can do with his vision of who he wants and the players he wants. I think we're beginning to get an idea of what that vision looks like now that we see some of these guys that are re-signing. And what I'm seeing so far, I like. Joaquin, Austin Upshaw, Jack Daly. These are 3 names that immediately jump out of me at that list. And I say, oh, I like all of that. There's nothing there that makes me question. You mentioned Leo Naquan. Folks, don't be surprised if you see Naquan Murray somewhere else next year. Naquan Murray is an elite wide receiver in this league.
Top 5 in the league easily.
Absolutely. And what that means is there may be some team out there that is willing to dump a better paycheck, a better opportunity just outside of the paycheck, or a star kind of role. Naquan Murray has always been here one of a great set of receivers. He may have the opportunity to go somewhere and be the guy somewhere else. And that's a big thing for these guys that are very competitive. They want to be the star. They want to be the guy. And so that may happen. I would love to see Naquan come back. But I would not be surprised at all if Naquan becomes next year's Glenn Gibbons. that goes to a team and makes an immediate impact on another team because he made his name in one place and now he gets to go and be the guy or one of the guys somewhere else.
Do we know what happened to Tom Manalis, or why they let him go after the second game of the year?
Yes, I do. I'm not going to say. I know I got a whole rundown of the story. I will tell you that it is the best case for Tom and for the Gunslingers that they made the decisions that they made. Right. It just was best for everybody in that moment to go their separate ways. And so Tom went to Massachusetts, finished out the season there, never had a plan on staying in Massachusetts, is my understanding. And at the end of the season, he left Massachusetts as well. I'm sure we will see him back in indoor football, whether that's on the IFL level or the NAL level or the AF1 level. I don't know where that will be, but I'm sure we will see him again
somewhere.
He will coach again somewhere. But yes, I mean, to answer your question, Chase, yes, I know what the story was, and suffices to say it was just in the best interest of everybody at that point. It was not the best timing, but it was in everybody's best interest to just go separate ways at that point.
Business decision. Mm-hmm.
And then with Naquan Murray, he can also, the option could be that he go back to the XFL because he did play for a while for the St. Louis Battlehawks. I mean, you never know.
He's definitely got the talent to go to another level. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
As far as Kali Rashad and Mass Bennett of San Antonio says, I really hope Kali returns. Heart and soul of the team. If he leaves, going to be a sad day. But the team still needs to make a tribute video for him wherever he goes. I will say to the Mass Bandit of San Antonio, if Kali does not play for the Gunslingers, I do not see him playing elsewhere. I think the door is open here in San Antonio, and I think he wants to be in San Antonio. So if he plays anywhere, I think it will be in a Gunslinger uniform. Yeah. I don't think there's an opportunity where he winds up in Green Bay or something like that.
Or Arizona, for God's sake.
Not to say that there wouldn't be a door open for him there, more to say that I'm not sure he would actually want to play somewhere else. Yeah.
I mean, he has family here. He's a local guy. This just makes too much sense for him. And it's a place. Look, Kali Rashad, as far as I know, Leo, fact check me here, is the only player that has played all 5 seasons for the San Antonio Gunslingers. I don't think we have anybody else from the AAL to the NAL to the IFL. Kali Rashad has been a part of this team and has been a huge part of all of those seasons.
Yeah, he's been there all 4 years.
5 seasons. One in the AAL, 2 in the NAL, and 2 in the IFL. So,
no disrespect to the AAL, but I don't count that year because it's like,
well, you're wrong. I don't often just straight out tell people they're wrong, but you're wrong. Those guys,
welcome to Phillips World, Chase.
those guys played their butts off. They worked very hard. They put together an incredible season. They fell short of the championship game by 1 game, and it was the beginning. And there's no way you can take it away from anybody. It was there. It happened. I saw it, and so you can't not count it. It counted.
At least in the NAL, the Albany Empire were there, which is why I'm like, yeah. I would prefer the Gunslingers be in the IFL, but at least there's teams in that league that have played in the AFL. So it's like, all right, I guess the NAL can work.
Now,
whereas, the AAL, there was like,
now,
yeah, I don't recall any memorable teams there other than the Gunslingers, of course.
If you want to talk the quality of the league or caliber of the league and competition within the league, I can understand where you're coming from, that some people might say, well, that's not really at the same level of indoor football as some of these other leagues that the Gunslingers are in. I won't disagree with you there, but I'll side with Philip and say it counts as a year of history in this organization, and if anything, gives them a lot of credit, because how many teams can come from that beginning and make their way up to where they have now and the caliber of organization that they are now? That speaks volumes for this organization coming from the beginnings that it did all the way back to the OG3 and what they, went through to get to the organization to even have a chance to be in the NAL and now the IFL. And yeah, we had, ownership take over and carry it and move it on forward in a way that probably the OG3 never, could, just because it was, outside of their, not disrespecting them, but yeah, exactly, the financial scope. But they were the engine that started this and made it and brought it from that, playing in the barn and moving forward. And so for a lot of fans, I hear it from like Greg, all the time, Greg Nelson, how they didn't know what the Gunslingers were or what indoor football was so much when they went to see this footballer. He brought his dad, and his dad said, he loves to tell me all the time, my dad said, I don't know what this is, but it's awesome and I love it. Yeah. And it's just,
there is no IFL Gunslingers without the AAL Gunslingers. There is no John Wayne Field without the Blue Monster. It is a part of the history, and so I will always count it. I'm not going to make anybody else do it, but I believe that it absolutely counts. It's part of the history of this team, and I was there. I saw it.
And Kali Rashad was there. He was part of it.
He was.
Yeah.
There's no John Wayne Field at the Freeman Coliseum without John Wayne Service Company.
That's true.
Right.
You're not wrong. You're not wrong. Alex McSwain says this is comparing apples to oranges, but the Spurs came out of the ABA. You can't discredit those years nor their time as the Dallas Chaparrals. That's right.
The Spurs do. Yeah, they don't acknowledge that.
Yep.
I'm trying to think of other teams that don't acknowledge, their history in the past city. Yeah, I gotta go. I don't know. Too much time.
Is Christoph Page coming back next season? April Marie Trotter says we don't know. That's not a name that's signed on the list. I imagine he will play somewhere. I would sure love to see him playing for San Antonio. I really appreciated his play on the field this year. I think he's one of those guys that has a motor that just runs the whole time. And to that end, what are names that are missing off of this list right now, Leo and Chase?
Where's this list?
Tyler Huddle. To you. Tyler Huddle. Tyler Huddle. Tyler Huddle. Tyler Huddle. Tyler Huddle. I'm hoping is on that list. Tyler Huddle. I'll say it once more.
Tyler Huddle was the kicker, if I remember correctly.
The kicker.
He did not have an auspicious end to the season.
Right.
I want to be very clear. But that aside, I don't care. What he did for the organization, he busted open the game, the kicking game, and showed us a new way that it can be done and effective and exciting and interesting. That kick along the ground is just as exciting and effective as trying for a deuce every single time.
Right.
I am okay with Tyler being back. I would love to see Tyler back. Other names that are missing off this list so far.
Keyshawn Paul Harper.
Yes. Keyshawn Harper is a key in so many ways to James Fuller's offense. And if Fuller is going to be your head coach and you're going to be running James Fuller's offense, you need that running back. That is something that is becoming less and less popular in the indoor game, or at least in the indoor football league. You're seeing a lot of people just go to this hybrid receiver that can stand in the backfield and be a running back. That's not what Keyshawn Harper is. And I think for James Fuller to run the offense he wants to run, he needs a Keyshawn Harper.
Yep. See, April Marie asking about the QB. You might have missed it. We talked a little while ago. Joaquin Collazo is one of the signings that was already announced on the IFL website transactions page. So, yeah, Joaquin is definitely coming back next season.
Alex McSwain hopes to see Austin Collier and Lakobe Tucker back.
Yeah.
Love him.
I think they aren't considered vets yet, but those are guys with shots at the next level. I agree. I'm kind of surprised we've kept Lakobe Tucker as long as we have, but I will champion him being here as long as he wants to be here. I like that guy. Who did you say, Leo? Mo missed it.
Tyler Huddle.
Oh, okay.
Tyler Huddle. Thicker kicker. Yes.
Alex McSwain says, I don't know where Jalen Robinson came from, and I don't know where he went. But should he try to play football after his injury, bring him back. He was electric. Jalen Robinson, if you remember, played about a half of football, but he looked like he was made in the same mold as Kali Rashad. I would never call him Kali Rashad, but he had that same sort of playmaking ability, it seemed, where he could just make things happen. So,
yep. Well, April Marie Trotter brings up an interesting question. You know, she's talking about Collazo, and then are able to get him to run when the opportunity arises. You know, I've seen some comments about him not running in when the opportunity's there, or being too hesitant to run in the last few games. And I don't disagree, but I think the first game or two when he came in, he actually did run and was quicker to run, I felt, at that point. And that almost made me wonder if he was instructed to, you know, hold off a little bit on his decision to run first, because prior to him taking the QB1 position, we had a guy who almost too quickly, who too quickly would take off and run with it. And I don't think that the coaching staff of the Gunslingers wanted the offense to kind of be geared towards that. So part of me makes me wonder if that was by design or by instruction, but I don't know. That's just speculation, because I saw it from Collazo in the first couple of games where he wasn't shy to run when it was there.
Yeah, and I think he's willing to run when he sees the ability there or sees the opportunity there. There were a couple of times late in the season that I saw him pass the ball when I'm like, you got plenty of room to run for a first down. Just do that. Remember, talking about a rookie quarterback here and still learning and finding his way along. And so he may find, it may take him some time to find that mix of when I want to go and when I want to run. As long as he keeps working on that side of the game and doesn't just give up on it entirely. We have seen quarterbacks in the we saw him, Chase. You would not have counted them because they were in the AAL days.
Here we go.
But we've seen quarterbacks who, no, I'm not taking off. I'm not running. I'm going to do it with my arm because I'm a quarterback, and that's what quarterbacks do. When you get into that mentality, that's where I start to have a bit of a problem, because when the opportunity is there, take it. When the other team is going to give you a clear lane to a first down, grab it. And we've had a guy here before who would not. He made a point to say, I'm going to do it with my arm. That's what quarterbacks do. And I think that was a disservice to his game and his athleticism, because I think he could have gotten even more, been better. If he would have been willing to use his feet at times, but he steadfastly refused to do that. Stubbornly.
True. I like James Palmer's comment here, though. He didn't want to run on that blue field. Maybe you don't blame him with the divots, but that was only the first game.
That was one game. That was one game. Wasn't the whole time. Alex was saying wants to see Keyshawn Harper back, bring him back ASAP. But again, a guy I could see in the CFL or the UFL. Not sure that's not true. Like, that's a guy that I think could play on the next level. Although he's a running back, And running backs have a very short window in professional football all the way around.
True. But that brings up a good point. Back to continue on your question, Philip, of names that are not yet re-signed or on that short list that we think ought to be or are hoping for. I would definitely hope for Rivarius Rivers. We've mentioned his name already. And I would definitely hope that maybe we'll have a chance at getting Clifton Duck back. But the other side of that coin with guys like that and that level of talent, you take chances of them being scalped right off your roster. Like Duck ended up going over to Denmark. Rivarius Rivers ended up in the UFL playing for the Memphis Tugboats. For a part of the season. And, so you take some risks when you have guys like that can that are, have the talent level to take opportunities at a higher level. And you don't want to keep them from being able to do more with their career and have that opportunity, obviously. So the more of those guys you bring in, the more you're like, yeah, we're going to dominate and we're going to have a great, defensive backfield or running back situation, whatever it might be, but you take the risk of them getting scalped right off your roster. So it's kind of something to consider.
For sure. I mean, that's got to be the mentality going in is, hey, are these guys, because you don't gain anything. It's great when Rivarius Rivers signs with the UFL or when Clifton Duck signs with ELF. That's great, but it doesn't do anything for you. And so you have to have the mentality going in of, are we depending too heavily on guys that can get snatched out from under us and we get nothing out of the deal? Like, we get to say, hey, that guy used to play for us, and that's it. That's all you get. Well, Chase, I am guessing Sports Coast to Coast and your coverage will continue into 2026. Is that right?
Yes. That's the plan right now.
Okay. Good deal. Well, we're excited about what we see through the offseason. We want to keep an ear to the ground and see what happens. The Smoking Guns podcast will go on hiatus for the offseason. We'll be back about a month before the season kicks off. As camp gets started, Leo Yamas commenting in the comments. Who is that? Leonardo Yamas?
I know Jerry asked, are y'all going to do the movie thing again?
We'll talk about that as we get down toward the end of the show. Yep. We'll talk some more about that. Where can they get your coverage, Chase, as you keep us informed throughout the offseason? Where can they find you?
You can find me on Twitter at Real Chase Risman. And, the last tweet I posted was actually the breaking news that the Gunslingers are bringing Joaquin Collazo III and Austin Upshaw back, among other players. There's going to be news in the offseason, and I am going to talk about it when it happens.
April Trotter, my son played in Florida, wants to try out and play for the Gunslingers. There will be tryout opportunities in the offseason, or at least I should say there always have been before. I guess I shouldn't say there definitely will be, but I assume there will be, as they have always had tryouts before. And we know, based on what we've heard from management as well as the coaching staff, that they are looking for local talent. They are wanting to connect with more local San Antonio-based talent, and there's plenty of that there. So I think there's going to be a focus on that this year, which means tryouts will be a part of that system. So
that's a good thing too. Texas football. Heck yeah.
Yep.
Any inside word on films and beverages with Coach Fuller? No, I have not heard any more about my idea for a film camp with Coach Fuller. I know they know about it. I know they've heard about it because I've talked to them about it, but no, they have not scheduled that sucker yet. As we get into the offseason, that may be the perfect time when Coach Fuller has some time to do something like that. And Coach Bain. I would like to see Jonathan Bain be involved in that as well.
Oh, yeah. Love him.
So, in fact, all of our coaching staff, I think, would be great with that. So, Chase, it's been a pleasure this season. We look forward to next season and your coverage through the offseason and through next season. We do have a Final Four coming up of our jerseys. Did you keep track of all these jerseys we've gone through over the last couple of weeks?
Yeah, I think the Kali Rashad one is in the Final Four, but other than that, I don't remember who's left.
Well, what was your favorite? What's your favorite jersey?
The Star Wars Chewbacca one.
Okay.
Yeah.
I did that one get to the Sweet 16, if nothing, at the very least.
Let me look where that got to. That got all the way to the round of 16.
16.
It was
Same with.
It was knocked out of the round of 16 by the Smoking Guns podcast jersey, the jersey
there you go.
that RC is wearing right there, which would get knocked out later in the next round by the Goonies jersey, which is still in things tonight. We have 4 remaining. I'll show you what they are real quick because we're going to get to this right after we let you go. The Goonies and the Joker jersey go up against the 6-shooters and the jersey I'm wearing tonight. Not that I have a favorite at all. The military appreciation jersey. Those are your final 4. And we'll be talking some about those here in just a moment. What do you think, Chase? If you had to pick one of those final 4 to be the best jersey, what would you go with there?
There's only 2 right now, but I'll
show you the other ones too. There's that one and that one.
Oh, so, yeah. Oh gosh. As far as the military and the 6-shooters uniforms, I'd probably go with the military uniforms.
Okay.
Because I like how they've got like the camouflage on the numbers, and then as far as these 2, gosh, I guess the Joker one.
Interesting. Yeah. And so your final matchup would be the military versus Joker. What one would win between those 2, Chase?
The military uniform.
The military uniform. Yes. I like the way you think. I agree.
Thank you.
I agree. No. Well, you'll get a chance to do that because we are not picking the winner on these Final Four matchups and in the championship matchup. The fans are going to do it. We're going to be the lawyer. We're going to be the advocate for our jerseys that we like better, but we are going to allow the fans that are with us live to be the jury and pick. And Chase, you can be a part of that. We're going to let you go so you can jump online and be ready to vote as we pick our favorite fan jersey of 2025, because we're going to have to do this again at the end of next year because we're going to have so many new ones.
New jerseys
we get to move them in. Chase Risman, Sports Coast to Coast. You can find him on X or Twitter or whatever you call it. If you call it X, you're wrong. It's Twitter.
There you go. Yeah, you got that one right.
Real Chase Risman. Go find him and give him a follow on there. Chase, it's been great to have you. Looking forward to your coverage throughout the offseason.
Thank you. 2 more things before I go. I'm going to make this quick.
Sure.
Go Blizz, Quad City. I can't finish it, but if you guys or any of you watching have been seeing my comments, it's a word I use when I talk about the Chicago Bears. And as far as me not acknowledging the year the Gunslingers were in the AAL, the last indoor football team that played here, the Talons, I don't acknowledge any of the years they played in Tulsa.
Okay.
All right.
There you go. Yeah. That is the way Chase sees things, and everybody's allowed to have their opinion, even when they're wrong. Thanks, Chase, for hanging out with us.
Thanks, Chase.
Enjoy your time.
Yeah.
We enjoy your coverage, and we'll keep looking out for it there on Twitter or X or whatever you call it. Thanks, Chase.
Yes.
Yeah,
Did
man. When
y'all
Chase,
notice that the IFL posted that they have announced the 2025 IFL Hall of Famers list, finalists? You can
No.
vote on that today.
I did not see that.
yeah, I got to go out to the site and check that out because I hadn't seen
absolutely.
that. I was gonna say, I thought Chase narrowly escaped being told he was wrong by Philip for the second time on the show because he voted for he said he would pick the military jersey as the winner.
Hey,
And you're like, you're right. I like the way you think. And I was like, oh, Chase just avoided being told for a second time. You're wrong.
indeed, he
But
did.
then he went again and doubled down at the end on the AAL year, and Philip got to tell him you're wrong a second time.
Everybody is. This is America. Everybody's allowed to have their opinion, even when they're wrong. Okay, here we go. Final four time. And
Let's
here's
do
how
it.
we're going to do this. We are not making the decision. We have decided all the way to this point, but you that are live here are going to get an opportunity. We're going to give you about 2 minutes, but first, we're going to make our case because we have favorites, in case you couldn't tell. And so in each of these matchups, we're going to tell you what we think, but it may sway your opinion or it may not at all. You may choose your opinion. You may choose your vote based on what we say or not. We are giving you control over these next few minutes of this contest. We're going to do the Final Four matchup, and then we'll hold off the championship matchup for a few more minutes as we talk a little bit more about Gunslingers football, and then we will come back at the end of the show and crown a champion over whoever's left over. So we start with our first of the Final Four matchups, the semifinals, if you will, of the jersey contest, and it is the Joker. There we go. The Joker versus the Gunslinger, and you know the Gunslinger. And here's what I noticed, guys. We've got a problem with recency bias because all four of our Final Four came out this year. We took no 2024, 2023 jerseys into the Final Four. They are all this year. So we need to make our case. We all have favorites.
That's only because the three of us are too old to remember last week, much less last year, 2 years ago. So.
Too true. Don't put in your votes yet. Don't tell me what you're voting for yet. Let us make our case first, Leo.
Yeah.
I'm going to let you make your case here. What would you vote if you were voting, but you're not?
I'm going to say this. I think the jersey on the left, the Joker jersey, is a fantastic jersey.
It absolutely is.
It is. But you know how sometimes in whatever basketball tournament or, football playoffs, whatever you put a bracket up, there's sometimes this one team that just seems to get by on either the easiest opponent or squeaks through on a game that they really should have lost. I think that's what this Joker jersey is. If you take this top four, they're all great, but I think the other three are on a different level than this Joker jersey. So I will have to go Goons up. I think this is a Cinderella run for this Joker jersey, and it ends here. That's my opinion.
RC, what's your opinion?
Well, you know which one I'm gonna totally know, but out of these two, I'm gonna go with the one on the right with the yellow. For whatever reason, I'm kind of tired of seeing that purple and green combination.
Oh, I love that.
It reminds me of an ice cream that I used to eat a long time ago, and it was called like a Monster Pop. And so I'm going against Leo and going with the one. Is that the Goonie one?
Yeah, but you're going with me. That's what I said.
That's what he wanted to. He also was going with the Gunslinger.
Yeah.
Okay.
I will make the case for the Joker jersey.
I
feel like somebody needs to, and since neither of you will, I will. The attention to detail on this jersey, this is one of those jerseys that has so many little things that add up to something great. the haha background, the stitches along the side, even the name Joker imprinted into the darts, the side darts of things. There are just a lot of things about this jersey. I think any one of those things in and of itself does not make it great. But when you add them all in, this jersey is just packed. Absolutely packed with greatness. And so while no one thing jumps out at it, there is one thing about the Gunslinger jersey that I just love. And I can't get over it, and it's great. And then there's kind of a second thing in the color scheme. I love the richness of the colors on the Gunslinger jersey, and then those sleeve stripes. I just love them. But if I were voting, I'm going to be honest, I would probably go vote Gunslingers as well. But I wanted to make the case. We are advocates for these jerseys. I do think you're right, Leo. I think when you look at all four of the Final Four, you look at Joker and go, how did this get here? And you go back and you look and you go, it beat Wolverine? How did it beat Wolverine?
That's the game that it should never have won that game.
I think you're right. I mean, I think you're right. I think it's lucky to get to this point. I think the Gunslingers is the one that should advance. That would be my vote. But we don't get the vote.
No, we don't.
You people watching right now,
See,
and
out of
you're
our
live,
hands.
you get to vote for the next 2 minutes or so. Your votes count now. Anything you've said before doesn't count because we have now made our cases. So you need to type in right now, Gunslingers or the Joker. Let us know who wins this matchup. You got about 2 minutes to make the vote count. And we'll just sit here. Here we go. We've got them coming in. Goons up. Who else? I know you think you've already voted. There's Alex McSwain. He says Gunslingers.
Goonies never say die.
Iris Ferrante, it's 3-0 so far. I think this is going to be a landslide. I think the three of us picking it was just the beginning.
I agree.
Think that we're going to see it fall off. It's certainly leaning that way at this point. Got about one more. There you go. James Palmer says, I'll do it. I volunteer as tribute. I will vote for the Joker. The one, so that it doesn't get skunked.
Oh, there's another Joker.
One-eyed Willie.
Oh, there you go.
There's a third Joker.
This is our time.
I hate to tell you this, but we've had a rash of Joker votes all of a sudden, and things look pretty tied. I'm going to take. We're getting to the end of 2 minutes. I need one more vote to break the tie. The next vote that pops in will break the tie. Does the Joker survive inexplicably because it comes down to one vote? I need one more vote for one of these jerseys.
And silence.
And nothing. Nobody feels passionate about this.
We will stick together until the whole world ends.
Uh-oh.
Alex says Lolise needs to break the tie. If we have to break the tie, we do it. And you've already heard what we think. So you got about just go with the character on my profile pic. No. You already voted, Jessica. You can't do that. I'm
one
keeping
vote
track
per
of
person.
Where.
One more. We need one more.
Goonies never say die. Come on, people.
Well, I know which way Jordan would vote if he were here.
I do too.
Uh-oh.
There it is. There it is. There's your vote. Gunslingers wins.
Votes Gunslingers.
It moves on. I'm going to hide this for just a second while we chat a little more. Goons up, Goons. That's the winning vote right there. Gunslingers moves on to the finals.
There's another one, Goonies.
There you go.
By the way, Tyler Huddle.
Leo really wants Tyler to be back with the Gunslingers. We were talking about earlier names that we want to see back. And guys, I think this is going to be the hardest decision that we ever had to make because now we get to go into the second Final Four matchup. It is the 6 shooters versus the military appreciation jersey. And I just have to say, before we start any of this, as we make our cases for this, if you don't vote for the military appreciation jersey, you have to explain why you hate the military.
Oh, come on. Give it up. Not fair.
That's the deal. If you don't
That's
vote
not
for
the
military
deal.
appreciation, you have to tell us why you hate the military.
Okay, that's like me saying if you vote for the military, you have to explain why you don't like women.
You're right. I don't like this game. You're right. I don't like this game. Never mind. You don't have to do it that way.
Thank you.
I'm going to start here. I love this jersey. This has been my favorite jersey that Jordan has ever produced. It looks like a football jersey. It also carries enough gunslinger DNA that it is completely and totally recognizable as a gunslinger merch piece. But it is everything I love. It is black. It is digital camo and the numbers. It looks like a football jersey with the numbers on the front and the back, and it also pays homage to the military. This is my favorite jersey of all time, and if it loses here, I'm going to throw a fit. I'm just telling you right now. Leo, make your case.
Oh, this is a really tough one for me. It's really tough because both of these are two of my favorite jerseys now that they came out this year. Oh, and I hate to vote against anything that six shooters because they deserve any accolade and every credit that they get. The military jersey design though is just so good with the black and the green contrasts. Oh, this is the toughest. This is truly tough. I'm gonna go with the military jersey as much as it hurts my heart to vote against the six shooters jersey. It's fantastic, but I mean, classic football jersey. And you're right, it looks like a football jersey. We can't say that about a lot of the fan jerseys. You know, they have a bit of style to them, creative license, but that's a straight up football jersey, and it's fantastic. So I'll vote military.
So I am staunchly on the side of the military appreciation jersey. Leo is stuck in the middle, but would lean that direction. RC, do you have an opinion on this one? No? Okay, we'll move on to the vote.
I do have an opinion. Bring it back. I'll tell you this. For 5 years, I'm counting the NAL, we've had jerseys, and let's just average 10 jerseys, 5 jerseys per year. Let's just say 25 jerseys. This is the first one that has been dedicated to the female athletes that have also encouraged the sport of football for here in San Antonio. They have been amazing. Besides all the community work, besides the camps they've been a very positive, energetic female fans for football. And this is one jersey, one of all the many that we've had. So for that reason, let's show those 18 cheerleaders and that one amazing coach that we do appreciate all the work that they do for the Gunslingers for the last 5 years. Because we've had cheerleaders for every season. Every season we've had a team. It's grown from 9 females to 18, doubled. So let's give them the recognition. We recognize the football players every game. And yes, we do recognize, but let's recognize them with the shirt that shows class and dignity like the female athletes and cheerleaders that they are. Boom, mic drop.
That's a pretty good case. Like, I'm not going to lie. That's a pretty good case. Like, I am still staunchly, if I had a vote, I know where mine would go, but I don't. And you make a good case. Like, you are
right. Should I be a lawyer? Is that what you're saying?
I think so. Like, if every case you argue is about the San Antonio Gunslingers six shooters cheer team, yes, I think you should.
All right.
I think that's a
new
very
career change.
I think that's a very small. Do any of the 6-shooters, James Palmer, any of the pink jerseys say 6-shooters on it? No, I don't believe they do. This is the only one I know of that's dedicated to the 6-shooters. And it's got a great story behind it, to be honest with you. The idea that it was not meant for public consumption.
Yeah.
It was something that was created for the ladies, and the fans went, I got to have that. And they sold out and required a reorder. Both of these jerseys have required a reorder. They have been so popular with fans. It is not a surprise to me that these jerseys wind up here in the Final Four because they are both very popular. We've made our case. It's time for you to vote. You got about 2 minutes to put in your vote, and this is going to be a tight one. I believe this is going to be a really tight one. Those of you that are watching live right now, you have the ability to pick one of these jerseys and send one of these jerseys home. Nobody wants, I don't think, to send either of these jerseys home, but one of them's got to win. And we've already got some votes rolling in. April Marie Trotter, military appreciation. Iris Ferrante, military. Loli says, can they be tied? Nope, that's not how things work. So keep those votes running in. Mo Ferrante, military. Jamar Washington, Jay Washington, he mentioned earlier, he puts up his yellow hearts. That is for the yellow jersey. He is voting for the 6-shooters. Alex McSwain, military appreciation. Call me old school. I like the front and back numbers. I agree with you. Got got just another minute or so. Right now, the vote is leaned toward military appreciation. If you want to change that, you got to get that vote in the next minute or so. Right now, leaning toward military appreciation, though.
And while we're in a little pause, just remember, if you need any vehicle wraps or decals, always contact Jordan Stubing at Grit Graphics, because he's the one who designed every single one of these jerseys.
Yep.
Lori says, got to go with my ladies on this one, 6-shooters. Loli says, military, as much as I love the 6-shooters. James Palmer says, going with military. I'm not going to call it a landslide, but it looks like with the minute ending and the voting ending, military has garnered more votes than the 6-shooters. It will go on to the finals to face the Gunslingers, but no shame there. The 6-shooters jersey is spectacular. This really could have been the finals matchup, I think.
Yeah, I think it should have been.
Just the way the bracket worked out, and if you ever want to see it, I got it right here. We wrote them all down. We seeded 4 jerseys as number 1 seeds, and everything else kind of filled in around it. These 2 were both number 1 seeds, and they show you why. They lasted all the way to this. The other number 1 seeds that got knocked out in the round of, one of them got knocked out in the round of 16. That is Leo's Wolverine jersey. And then one got knocked out in the round of 8. It was the Smoking Guns podcast jersey because Leo doesn't like our podcast and voted against it. And went with the Goonies instead of the Smoking Guns podcast and sunk our chances of the podcast being the winner of this entire thing.
But San Antonio is military USA, so I'm okay with that.
Rigged. Jay Washington says, rigged. I'm putting on my Del Gribble persona and saying rigged. Not rigged. It is the way it works out. So the military jersey will go up against the Gunslingers jersey right here in a few minutes. But for now, let's talk a little bit about the season. Normally, we do bull spit and bullseye, and it's our favorite moment of the week from the San Antonio Gunslingers week. But we really need to talk about some of our favorite moments and our least favorite moments of the season. We need to wrap up the season and talk about what we really enjoyed and what was maybe a miss for us this season. And so I invite folks that are listening or watching right now to do that. But I want to talk to you guys a little bit, and I am springing this on you. So I'm going to start off. My bullseye, my favorite moment of the year was watching our team finish the season on a high note. There was no reason. There was nothing that should have that said that they needed to go out there and give it their all, and to a man they did. They dominated Northern Arizona, and they acquitted themselves well. A 5-11 season is not great. It is not what I wanted to see at the beginning of the season.
Mhm.
It's not what I wanted to see halfway through the season. It's not what I wanted to see with 2 weeks left. I wanted to finish out with a 6-10, at least something. And we lost that game to Arizona. But 5-11 is what we got. Seeing them go out there and play just all out for that final game of the season, which doesn't mean a lot of anything really, was really special and really important. That might be my top moment of the season. My least favorite moment of the season was hearing, this is going to surprise some people, hearing that Tom Menas was fired. Nobody, I didn't agree with Tom Menas on a lot of things. I didn't get along with Tom Menas, and I think that's become clear. If it was not clear while he was still here, it's certainly clear at this point. Like, we just didn't get along. We didn't like each other. We saw things differently, and that doesn't mean he's right and I'm wrong, and that doesn't mean I'm right and he's wrong. We're just different people, and we saw things differently. But I will never rejoice at seeing somebody get fired. I think it was the best thing for Tom. I think it was the best thing for the organization. I think going forward, we're in a lot better position than we were. And I think he is too. But I'm never going to be happy about somebody getting fired and certainly not that quick into the season. Tom had plans. Tom wanted to do the right thing for the fans of San Antonio and see us get into the playoffs and see us win a championship. And anything he did in service of that. And so I'm never going to feel good about somebody getting fired and losing their job. And that's a dark moment of the season, is this moment where we began to look on some level a little rudderless, like we didn't know what the future of this team was. I'm happy with everything that's happened since that point. And I do believe that we have direction, but my bull spit of the season is hearing that Tom Menas was fired, even though I didn't agree with him, and I didn't particularly like him, and he didn't particularly like me. Hearing that he was fired is not a good thing. It's not a happy thing. I never once have cheered and said, thank God that guy is gone. I want the best for Tom. I don't think it was here. And I want the best for our team, and I don't think that was Tom. So in the long run, it's good, but nobody likes to see somebody lose their job. Leo, how about you? Bull spit and bullseye for the season. You got anything?
Yeah. So my bull spit for the season is kind of a whole bunch of things wrapped into one. And really it's the whole situation coming into the season without a clear-cut guy at QB1, a clear-cut, this is the guy that we're going with. You've heard the saying before, if you're a professional football fan, if you've got, 2 quarterbacks, you've got a competition. If you've got 3 quarterbacks, you don't have a quarterback. I think that's how it goes. Somewhere along the lines of that. We came into the season with more than 3 and saying, well, it's just going to be a competition. All of that wrapped up into, I think ended up in a lot of, residual issues for this team, division in the locker room, unfortunate cases and the handling of some tough situations, to be fair. But with the Myers brothers and Reeder, and just it's kind of had a snowball effect on this season. And I think Gunslinger fans should feel very fortunate that we ended up finding a guy that we felt comfortable with and landed on, and were able to kind of see and develop the latter part of the season. But it was kind of too little too late. And I think all of that uncertainty coming into the season at that key position, as much as that was downplayed by people, I think that was kind of the writing on the wall for this, how this season was going to go.
I think you're right.
And that's my bull spit for the season. And I'm very glad, or at least hopeful, that the Gunslingers are not going to be going into the 2026 season in that situation. At least all indications are that they won't, with the quick re-signing of Joaquin.
With the re-signing of Joaquin Collazo, what you're being told, to me, what I'm being told by the organization is it is Joaquin or better. Like if somebody else, if Sam calls and says, I want to play for the Gunslingers again, you take that call and you look at how that works.
You bring him in if you can, yeah.
I mean, so solidifying Joaquin as an offseason signing right at the beginning sends a signal to me as a fan. It's Joaquin or better, and markedly better. Talking about somebody like Sam coming back, I think that's a great way. I think those are great points, and I think you're right. Starting off this season with 3 quarterbacks was kind of the writing on the wall at the beginning.
Uncertainty.
You know? Yeah. It kind of set the tone for the season in a way we didn't realize at the time, but certainly looking back on it, it looks that way. RC, you got anything?
Are we bullseye or bull's fit? Which one? Or both?
You pick.
Okay, for me, I'm going to go with bullseye. And I know that it's part of the team. It's part of the whole, I don't know, family community. But 2 things that I was part of that I really touched my heart were the football camp and the cheerleading camp. That the team continues to do an outstanding job to give back to the community.
Absolutely.
And I love cheering when I'm at the games. I love it all. But when you see those kids' faces light up, that is worth 1,000 W's. And their parents are part of it. They're cheering them on. I love that we had one girl at that football camp. I love that. But that's what I will remember, looking at those faces, seeing how happy those kids were, being on the field, practicing the cheerleading, holding on to those pom-poms, taking pictures. That, to me, is a big W.
Yeah, I agree. Great choice. And I kind of feel like I should have stole it. The camps are just kind of one of the really, really bright spots of the season. What else? What about your bull spit? You got one?
It goes back to the record. It goes back also to injuries. I know we can't do a whole lot about that, but as a therapist, working with occupational therapists and physical therapists and massage therapists and sports specialists, conditioning is key. So I know whatever they're doing, let's maybe do more of it.
Injuries. That's a good call. Like you're absolutely right. Good call. Alex McSwain says, can I have 2 of each? I'll allow it, I guess. Do I have choice? You wrote them down anyway. You didn't ask the question. You didn't ask the question and then wait for my permission. You just put them out there. So now I got to read them all. I guess you can have 2. That's not the rules, but the rules don't count for out. I'm just kidding.
Better to ask for forgiveness than permission. There you go.
There you go, Alex.
Bullseye, great production, game in and game out. Absolutely. Jordan, April, all the people that make that go week in and week out, just spot on all season long. Absolutely excellent. And the 6-shooters truck. The 6-shooter 6-pack is amazing. No, he's not nice. He's breaking the rules. Anyway, yeah, the 6-shooter truck is one of those unexpected things that popped up, and by all rights, I shouldn't like it as much as I do. It's a different color. It doesn't fit with the theme, but that in and of itself became its own thing and became its own
Entity.
theme, its own. Yeah, it developed an identity of its own, and it's incredible. Bullspit, fan attendance, and players' injuries. Absolutely. Fans, God, I wish we could get more fans in the building.
We need to.
I really want to see that thing kick off in 2026. I want to find the magic beans or whatever it is that are gonna see people realize what a great product this is and get in the building for it. And maybe 26 will be the year.
On that note, there has been some assurances that I've heard from very high up in the organization that things are being worked on. New sponsors are being talked to and brought in, some heavy hitters in the San Antonio area that will help significantly get the name of the Gunslingers and this brand and organization out there and more, in front of more people. So very hopeful for that. I know the organization is very hopeful and has a plan to moving forward for next season. They're serious about this, so we can hope for better results in 2026. And I think that will help tremendously if they can get some of these partnerships in place, which is looking pretty positive. So,
well, that's good.
Mass Bandit of San Antonio, Bullspit, Keyshawn Harper's jersey being torn to shreds. I don't know. Something I'm never going to forget. That was really, really cool. Bullseye beating the daylights out of Nash to end the season. He says he's going to miss this, and he's already going through withdrawals. Right there with you, buddy. Right there with you. It is very odd that as I signed on today, I talked about 23rd and final episode of our 5th season, and it just feels like we started this this season of the podcast just a few days ago, just a few weeks ago. It does not feel like it's been 23 weeks, actually 24. That's nearly half the year that we've been broadcasting weekly, basically, to you guys. Just doesn't feel like that. And I will be going through withdrawals as well. Absolutely.
I want to share a funny moment. So while they were doing that jersey auction, Alex sent me a message saying, "Are you bidding on Collier's jersey?" And for a second, I thought, "Oh my God, is my credit card out there? What happened? Why would he say that?" But then I realized that his dad, Ronald Collier, was bidding on it, and it would show up RC. And I was like, "Oh my God, okay, that to me that was funny, right?" Because I had a panic for a second, and I'm like, "No, I don't think it's me. I think it's the dad." But I was like, "Is my credit card out there? Why would they think I'm bidding on that?"
Right.
So I thought that was funny, but that's my humor.
RC, send me your credit card information and I'll verify that it's not out there.
Okay, great. I'll tell you, 555.
Lori Lerma says, Bullseye, as a sponsor, I had the opportunity to take the players out in the community and seeing these players one-on-one with Little League teams and attending other football camps to help. These guys are amazing on and off the field. They love the love they have not only for the game, but also for young athletes. That is great to hear. It's bigger than football sometimes, and we've seen opportunities for it to be bigger than football. 5-11 record is what it is. It's not what any of us wanted, but it is such a small thing. We've had a great season. We've had a lot of fun. We've gotten to celebrate our team and support our team, and we've seen it change lives and make a difference and an impact in lives of children at camp, children in these opportunities that Lori talks about. And, it's a net positive all the way around, no matter what the record was. Absolutely. Lolis, Bullspit, all the changes and uncertainty for the season. Absolutely. I think that's true. Bullseye, the fans made it so much fun.
So much.
And getting involved. And Alex McSween has an update for you, RC. He beat out Mr. Collier for his son's jersey. Couldn't give it up.
Oh,
But in his defense, he told Austin he was going to be bidding on it. Agnes says, we will miss your podcast. Our Monday nights will be so boring now. Agreed. Monday Night Football is coming up.
We'll miss you, Agnes. And thank you for helping pass out the roses again. Thank you to all the ladies.
You do have Monday Night Football coming up. The NFL's Monday Night Football can be a substitute for the Smoking Gun podcast. It's not the same and it's not as good, but it's there. We're better than Monday Night Football. That's what I'm going to have written on my tombstone, man. Better than Monday Night Football. James Palmer, Bullspit, season's over. No more hanging out at Freeman for a while, no matter the results of the game. He even says the NFL is boring now. Hey.
I don't go that far.
Not going to go there. I am getting excited about the NFL and football getting started here in a few months, or here in about a month. Football will be back in a very real way, and I'm excited about that.
I'm going to go ahead and take the cue from Agnes Huddle and take the opportunity to add my bullseye, because I've only stated my bull spit.
My bad.
No, that's okay. I'm going to add my bullseye, and what my bullseye is and it's kind of a selfish thing, I guess. Selfish as in the three of us and this podcast. It's centered on that, and the feeling. Everybody knows we've said we don't do this for the money. We don't make a dime for this. We do this. It's a labor of love. We do this because we love our San Antonio Gunslingers. We love the fan base, and we're passionate about professional football in San Antonio. We've been doing this for years now, and it's just something that we do because we love to do it. But it's also really special and gratifying to see the fan base, and people that follow us and like Agnes, and that had joined us over time. And we have people that have been around from the very beginning, like Mo and Iris, and we see them more often than not wearing the Smoking Guns jerseys.
Yep.
And just, getting that kind of not recognition, but appreciation and like that fellowship. If fellowship is a good word of the love that we put into this podcast, and people seeing that and kind of reciprocating is really special to me. Things like, the family jersey that I got for Kali Rashad.
Yep.
That was really special. And that's because of this podcast, and just seeing people in the stands and meeting people with signs up like April Marie Trotter based on stuff we've said on the show, and just seeing that, that return from the rest of the fan base. It's really, really special. I know, not just for me, but for all of us, and having the opportunity to like RC said, to send more kids to these camps, and because of the patrons that we have, and their contributions and donations. Alex McSwain go on a vacation and bring us gifts back. Awesome mugs that I keep here at my desk. I'm your Huckleberry. Things like that. It just makes this so special and makes it so worthwhile. And I really appreciate you guys for showing us love like that. It means more than you can ever imagine. And that is definitely my bullseye for the season, of just seeing that in the fan base and from the Gunslingers organization. They do a lot for us. A lot. A lot. It's really special, and it makes all of this worthwhile and then some. So I'd like to take that opportunity to make that my bullseye for the season, and give a very heartfelt thank you to all of you.
Mass Bennett of San Antonio says, gonna miss the podcast. I'm also beyond grateful for y'all having me on the very first time of being on any podcast. I'm completely blessed to have joined y'all. And if you're one of those, it's like, hey, how am I going to get through the next few months without the Smoking Guns podcast, you won't have the Smoking Guns podcast because we won't be there. But we did something last off season, and Leo and I have talked about it, and we're still working on exactly what it's going to look like. But we're going to bring back Holstered Guns, and we love talking about movies, and it's just a great little distraction for these weeks between the seasons. So we're not sure what that looks like, but we're almost certain it will not be live. We may record video and put it out of the podcast so that you can watch on Facebook, but our schedule just is not conducive to gathering on a normal, definite time each time. So we may record those Holstered Guns podcasts. We may even reach out to some of you and ask you to be guests or hang out with us as we talk about some of the movies. And we're going to bring back Holstered Guns, probably 10 episodes, but definitely recorded. You'll have the opportunity to hear them on audio, or I think we'll put out the video of these conversations as well. We have movies based on jerseys that have been done. That would be an interesting thing. I don't know that I could talk for 2 hours about. I could.
The Goonies, I think we could do it.
Batman, yeah,
and Batman Joker. For sure.
Maybe no. We're still developing some of the structure and what it'll look like, but we will be back with Holstered Guns again in the off season. A little different in that it will be recorded, but still a great conversation. And we want everybody to check in with us. If movies are your thing, if you love movies as much as you love football, or almost as much as you love football, then you're right there where Leo and I are. RC, you're always welcome to join us, but I know that that you don't have the same kind of passion for the movies that we love. That we
I might show up now and then.
We'd love to have you join us.
Yeah.
Marvel movies might be tougher to do for the 2 hours. Yeah, there's not a lot to talk about with most Marvel movies.
Hey, Fantastic Four was pretty good.
Haven't
Yes,
seen
it was.
So was Superman, though. Yeah.
Formula One was good. I like Brad Pitt.
I have seen none of these movies you're talking about right now. Do we have a return date? It will be as the Gunslingers go into camp next year, usually about a month before the season starts. I realize that doesn't give you an exact date, but gives you an idea of when you look for us. And that's when we will be back with the Smoking Guns. Obviously, if you keep up with us on Holstered Guns, you will hear as we're getting closer to the season because we will be promoting the season. We've got one more piece of business we have to take care of before we begin the outro for the final time this year and talk about our wonderful patrons and the ways that you can contact us as a show.
Tyler Huddle.
Our last piece of, we have two pieces of business because Leo,
we do.
We have not mentioned yet, and we need to cover this before we go into the finals of the jersey contest. We won, Leo.
Yes, we are the winner. This is another bullseye.
We beat the Northern Arizona Wranglers, and the IFL has agreed that we now own the rights to the logo and the colors, because if you log on to the IFL page and you go and look at the book, the stat book for this game, the Northern Arizona Wranglers versus the San Antonio Gunslingers, you will note this. They have taken down the Northern Arizona Cowboy and the Northern Arizona Wranglers and put up a generic tiger logo, sending the signal clearly from the league that they need to pick a new color scheme and mascot.
No, they're the Kitty Cats, the Northern Arizona Kitty Cats. It's pretty clear that the IFL feels they are the Kitty Cats. They're no longer the Wranglers and can no longer sport the red, white, and blue of Gunslinger Nation.
Steal our colors.
Right. We won. We won.
We won. We took it, and the IFL has clearly noted that there on their website. You can go check it. As we started this episode, this is a screenshot, obviously, that we're showing. But as we started the episode, we went to see, if the IFL had fixed this yet, and they had not. So we win. We are the red, white, and blue cowboy logo. Y'all go find something else in Northern Arizona. Your Tigers are great there. Go with the Tigers.
Kitty cats.
Be the Tigers. Mass Bandit said, I even chanted out, hey, we want our colors back. It looks like it worked. Absolutely. It worked. Clearly. We are the ones that we are the ones that get to keep it. I taught putty tat. There's a reference that
yeah. I did tee a putty tat.
That dates you a little bit if that's a little bit of a reference. All right. Last piece of business we have to get to before we do the outro and wave goodbye and ride off into the sunset for another season. We have to crown a champion. Here they are. Your final two, the finals, the Gunslingers against the Military Appreciation jersey. And RC, I have not allowed you to make your case first yet, so I will let you, in this final battle between these two great-looking jerseys, to tell us what you would vote for if you had a vote. You don't, but if you did, what would you do with it?
Well, like I said before, San Antonio is known as Military USA. So as a wife of an Air Force person who served for over 13 years, as a sister of a retired lieutenant colonel, of an aunt of a flight attendant in the Air Force stationed over there near Washington, D.C., and aunt of a nephew who's an airborne ranger stationed in Hawaii, I'm going to go military.
Okay, fair enough. Leo, you got an opinion here?
I do. As much as I love the Gunslinger, the Gunslingers jersey and the Goons Up and the fabulous design, I can't agree with you more. Those sleeves are fantastic.
They are.
With the colors and the logo. But if I'm wearing one of these jerseys out in the public, and right now, job number one is to spread the news of Gunslingers around San Antonio. If I'm wearing one of these jerseys out in public and I'm wearing Goons Up and Gunslingers, I think somebody sees that jersey and doesn't think twice about going, I wonder what that is. But if I'm wearing Gunslingers, San Antonio Gunslingers, in what's very obviously a football jersey with the number 25 and that contrast and sticking out, then I may and have been asked, hey, is that new football team here in San Antonio? And that is freaking awesome. To have that effect, wearing this jersey is
it's
extremely important.
Yeah,
exactly. And so I got to go with the Military Gunslingers jersey. It's fantastic. It gets people's attention and it lets them know what it's about. So go. The Military Appreciation is my vote.
Well, earlier tonight, you two voted for one thing, and I became the devil's advocate, the Joker's advocate, as it were, and decided I would tout some of the things that I loved about the Joker jersey just to be fair to it. I can't do that here. This is my favorite jersey that Jordan has ever created, and I am so happy that it is here in the finals. I love it. I think it is just I don't want to use the word perfect when you're talking about something that's artistic, because there are lots of things that can be amazing. And so saying perfect means there's nothing you would change about it. And I don't know that I would change anything about this, but I'm not willing to just say perfect. Now, to give credit where credit's due, I think the Gunslingers jersey coming in second, if that's what happens, is absolutely reasonable. It is so good looking.
Mm-hmm.
The gradient look on the words, the glow behind everything, the colors, that orange, yellow orange kind of look, and that teal just work together. I have talked endlessly about those sleeves and what I love about them and the way they look retro, but also not all together. It is a very well-designed jersey, and I like it. I love it, but I don't love it as much as I love the military appreciation jersey. So if I had a vote, that's where it would go. So that means if we wind up in some sort of tie here, we get the final vote, and military appreciation is going to win because we all three chose that one. But we don't get to decide. You do. There are some of you hanging out right now. There's lots of you actually hanging out right now watching live. And in the next 2 minutes, you get to make your voice heard. Military appreciation or Gunslingers. You get the choice. Get those votes in right now. You got about 2 minutes before we crown a winner. Which one will it be? And here it comes. Here they come.
Vote, vote, vote.
Vote, vote, vote. Let us know. 100% military, Mo Ferrante says. Iris also military. Lolis, the military appreciation jersey. This is beginning to become a landslide. James Palmer, military appreciation. We have not gotten a single vote yet for the Gunslingers jersey, and you got about a minute left to get those in. Mass Bandit of San Antonio, he's going to go with the military. Alex McSwain, military. It is a landslide as voting begins to wrap up. I hate to do this to Gunslingers.
Oh, one.
Nope. Read what it says.
Oh, he says Goons down.
Oh, what an awful way. I thought we were going to get through. We're seeing votes come in, and we have not seen a single Gunslingers vote yet. We did see James Palmer and his Goons down, and Leo said it out loud, and I almost did too. I thought it was we'll keep it out of the doghouse, keep it out of the unanimous, but instead it is a vote for military as voting wraps up. Folks, it was unanimous. There wasn't a single
I'm okay
vote
with that
popped through for the Gunslingers. And that's not saying anything bad about that jersey.
No,
it is just
fantastic jersey.
It is just that this jersey. And you know what's great about this jersey? I've held off on this because I didn't want hold on. I need to do the thing. Here you go. There's your winner. The winner of the bracket. We started with 42 jerseys. We got all the way down to the military appreciation jersey. Here's something I love about this jersey, Leo and RC. This jersey, in part, I think, I have no proof of this, but I think in part this jersey was born right here on this podcast. Because about a month or 6 weeks before this jersey appeared, we kicked around on this podcast how we would love to see a jersey that looked like a standard traditional football jersey. Numbers on the front and back, TV numbers on the shoulders, just something that looked like a standard football jersey. We love I call them hockey style jerseys that Jordan creates with the big logos on the front, numbers on the back. It's very hockey in the way it's kind of designed. And we love those, but we were aching for something that looked a little more like a football jersey. Within a couple of weeks, we got this. We got the image of this, the pictures of this from Jordan. And at the moment it came in, I felt like he had heard the fans. And that's what we are, as a voice of the fans. And decided to create something based on what he was hearing. And so as much as I love every aspect of this, the digital camo in the numbers, the contrast, all of the things we've talked about for weeks about this jersey. One of the other reasons I love this jersey so much is I feel like it was born right here. I may be wrong. I may be, that may be revisionist history. He may have already had this in the works and it just happened. I need to get a second. Philip, you need to get a second just in case, like a second favorite.
No, I think she means get a second of this jersey in case it happens. But similar to how I have two of the Wolverine jerseys.
Yeah.
Which like you said, I gotta say, nothing against Goons Up, but we all know that only the Wolverine jersey would have had a chance against this jersey if it were in the finals.
That would be tough. Yeah, you're right. She said second military jersey. You may be right. I may need to get another one because it is my favorite. And I'm so happy that it gets crowned here. as the champion. And does that mean that I goosed the results to get here? You'll never know. But here we are. So that was fun. It was an idea we mentioned at the beginning of this final month of the season. Just hey, we should try that, and we've done it, and we've had a great time with it. And what's great is it changes next year because there's going to be a whole new slate to add into the mix, and so some of these will reappear next year if we do this again. Some of them won't because they'll be replaced by others, like that outlaw jersey that was so good looking that none of us got to get. Matt Bennett of San Antonio said,
yeah,
what happened to the newest outlaw fan jerseys? They got caught in customs. First time that's ever happened to Jordan. He usually orders in plenty of time to have them in hand for the game. This time around, got caught by customs and wound up, I think, in St. Louis at game time. And just did not make it here in time. So
I wonder what the Gunslingers plan is to make those available for purchase, maybe online or something.
I think you're going to see them show up online. Yeah, I think
great looking jerseys. Yeah.
Can't wait.
Absolutely. We are so proud to be finishing up our 5th season. And one of the things that makes us able to go that far into all of this San Antonio Gunslingers world is our amazing patrons. They have been amazing. Many of these folks have been with us in season and off season alike. And I'm not being hyperbolic here. The show wouldn't exist without these people.
Absolutely.
I don't think we could keep going and keep pouring our money into it, which is how we started. At some point, it just doesn't work anymore. And some of our money still goes into this. I'm not going to lie. I still, occasionally, we have to put into the kitty. But we have to do that far less because of amazing people like Mo and Iris Ferrante, Alfred Rodriguez, James Palmer, Jay Washington, Jordan Stubing, James Stubing, Kim and Greg Nelson, and I don't want to forget Jessica Palmer because she's a big part of this as well. These folks make the show go and get kids to camp in a way that we couldn't do by ourselves. And we are so thankful for them hanging out with us season and off season alike. We don't pause because the Bills don't pause. We don't pause our patrons for the off season. And I think every one of those folks were in with us through the off season last year and kept this thing going through the off season because we still have monthly bills just to keep our spot, just to keep our website and our podcast area. We have to keep those bills going. And they are a part of making this thing go all season long, which is a big reason why we do holstered guns. We have it. We might as well use it and do something with it. So we do something with it because otherwise it would just sit there and we'd be paying for nothing. And we don't want to do that. Nobody wants to do that. So if you want to be a part of that Patreon group, even though the season's ending, if you want to help us get kids to camp next year and pay the bills on the show, you can sign up. We're not going to stop you. I think it's kind of weird to add somebody right here at the end of the season, but we'll gladly welcome you in and honor you as one of those patrons. All you need to do is go to patreon.com/Smoking Guns Podcast. That's Smoking No G, Guns with a Z, POD, and you can sign up at a $5, $10, or $20 a month level to help us make the show go and help us send kids to football camp and cheer camp next year when that opportunity comes up. April says, looking forward to seeing y'all soon. Really enjoyed our first season with the San Antonio Gunslingers. Can't wait till next season. Mo says season may be ending. Mo says season may be ending, but the funds can still be collected toward the kids next season. That's it. That is correct. If you need to contact the show, if something comes up during the off season and you're like, what do Philip and Leo and RC think about this? You can do that. We're all on Facebook and we're all fairly active on Facebook, although no one is more active than this lady right here. Like, that lady is super active on Facebook. You can always find her sharing and talking and hanging out on Facebook. But I'm there too, and so is Leo. You can find all of us on Facebook, and you can find the show at Smoking Guns Pod. We're also on Twitter and Instagram and some of those other things, but Facebook is the place that we really kind of hang out and enjoy each other's company. So feel free to join us on Facebook. If you need to email the show, you can do that at smokinggunspod@gmail.com. My voice is going away. Can you hear that? Like, it is telling me the season needs to end because
It's finally catching up.
it is tired. It is wiped out. It's been a great season. Season 5 has been wonderful. 23 episodes deep, 24 weeks long. We have had a great season, and we can't wait to get started on season 6 sometime around February next year, as we kick off a 6th year of covering the Gunslingers, our 3rd year in you're being told, shh, never, never. I will talk until it's painful for you to listen to. Have you ever heard somebody that their voice is just gone and you're just like, stop talking? That hurts me to hear that. I will talk that long. I'm that guy.
Yes, yes.
Yes, he is. If you are looking for the best indoor football experience, you will not find it anywhere in the IFL, NAL, or even the AAL, who is coming back this season, by the way. And it counts. But you're not going to find. You're not going to find those the best experience in any of those places. You're not going to find it in Tulsa or in Jacksonville. Up in Albany, where they're playing AF1 football, you're not going to find it over in Billings or where's the beef? Omaha. You're not going to find Omaha. You're not going to find it anywhere. The best indoor football experience, if that's what you're looking for. Well, the 210, we got something to say.
Bang, bang.
Tyler Huddle.
Round of applause.
Thank you so much, all of you. Those of you that are hanging out with us and online, or some of the people that have carried us through the whole season. We are incredibly thankful for our patrons. We talk endlessly about them because it's a big sacrifice that they make to help us make the show go, but it also doesn't work without people to listen and interact and be a part of that. And you folks that are listening right now are huge.
Yes.
We would not enjoy this near as much if it weren't for you and your freezing cold takes like go Cowboys, lose and lose or lose. Dude, the Cowboys are going to win it all this year. Don't you know that, Abel? Don't you know? Like, I know you're a Cowboys fan, lose or lose. The Cowboys are going to sign Micah Parsons. That's going to happen. All of this trade stuff is just, it's negotiation. They're going to sign.
It's noise.
They're going to sign Micah Parsons, and they're going to win the Super Bowl this year. You heard it here first. Look at it.
Oh,
it's all around me. Cowboys in the Super Bowl.
It's our year. It's our year.
It's our year.
The Bills are going to win because we have, as the long snapper, Scott Daly from the Commanders.
Hey, I like that guy, but he's not the Dallas Cowboys, and that's the champions this year. We all know it. Bullspit of the year. Abel Garcia says, Bullspit of the year, Coach Manas. Hey, you know what? No ill will. I mean, we're not best friends, but no ill will. I hope he gets somewhere and coaches his butt off, and we see him again someday and get to just beat the
pants off of him.
Yeah, absolutely. I hope that happens. Go Colts. Mo Ferrante.
Hey,
James Palmer says it'll either be the Colts or Broncos. I think he means for the trade for Micah Parsons.
You know what?
He says to win it all.
To
either
win it
the
all.
Colts or Broncos to win it all.
I haven't been this optimistic about a Broncos season in a while, but they're looking pretty. Everything coming out of camp is like this team is really legit. This defense, this offense, Bo Nix. I'm excited. I love you, Mo Ferrante. I love you, Iris Ferrante. But Iris, we go against your Titans in week 1, and it's not going to be pretty. I'm sorry. And Mo, when we face the Colts a couple weeks later, I love you guys, but sorry.
All I gotta say is the Cowboys offense with Pickens, Lamb, and Blue and Williams in the backfield with Dak Prescott, not to mention Jake Ferguson. That is stacked. Like, who do you cover? Who do you leave open in those sort of opportunities? There's a lot going on. Lois says, "Don't jinx nothing.
Don't jinx it."
Go.
Did y'all watch the induction?
I did not. I didn't watch.
I did.
Induction.
I always cry.
I'm a little frustrated that Tony Romo has not gotten more talk. Look, I realize I'm a Cowboy homer, and a lot of that is just joking. I like my team. I don't hate anybody else's team. I love my team, though. But I do not understand how Tony Romo has not gotten a fair, honest vote to even be talked about. He's never been one of the finalists. Tony Romo, look at what the guy was. He was a quarterback at Eastern Illinois, undrafted free agent, and ended up being one of the best quarterbacks of his era. That is a Hall of Fame kind of career. I don't care that he never won a Super Bowl. I don't care that the playoffs were mean to him. Look at his numbers and look at where he came from. Dude, this is a Hall of Fame guy, in my opinion. And I would feel that way even if he wasn't a Cowboy. I think Tony Romo deserves it, and I can't believe he doesn't get any honest conversation about it. Everybody immediately points to playoff record, no Super Bowl. He's not a Hall of Famer. It's just not true. Dude is a Hall of Famer and deserves it.
I'll agree with you, Philip. And I mean, just watch his broadcast, and you'll know how
he's very
incredible
knowledgeable.
he is in football, because he's calling the plays before they happen.
Yep,
exactly.
Yeah, he is a student of the game. He knows what's going to happen on the field before it happens. He knows it. He knows football.
And that note, adios. I'm sad to say goodbye, but I'll see y'all soon.
Goodbye, RC.
Good night, RC.
We'll see you later.
Bye.
And we'll say goodbye to the rest of y'all. We make sure you download the episode and be looking for Holstered Guns as we get that kicked off. It's fun. It's fun to talk about movies. It's almost as fun to talk about movies as it is to talk about football. Not quite, but almost. And so we're excited to start again. All right, that's it. The voice is almost gone. Y'all have a great night. Have a great off season. We'll see you on Holstered Guns, and check in from time to time. Say hi. We'd love to hear from you. We'll be back next season with Smoking Guns, and Leo and I will be back in the off season with Holstered Guns. Bye-bye, everybody. See you later.
Night, everyone.